United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So roll call.
Eric,
Present.
Beal,
Present.
Dodrill,
Present.
Rice, my mic's not muted. Schwab,
Okay. So moving forward, approval of agenda. And I see that we want to move under C, under informational number 2, to new business B and make it 7. I also see that 2 other things are missing at the very end before adjournment, and that's board thoughts and exit ticket on the agenda. So if those could be added also. Okay.
Are we going to have to take any action when we come out of executive session?
No.
We're just going to discuss something.
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
all right.
So is there anyone else who wants to amend the agenda, either add or delete? Could I have a motion then, please?
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Beal,
Aye.
Dodrill,
Aye.
Rice,
Aye.
Schwab,
Aye.
So I see that, or hear that we have 15 who are participating via Zoom to our meeting. We welcome all of you, and at this point is time for public participation. If you do have something to contribute, I would let you know that it is in a 3-minute frame. Anyway, thank you for joining us.
please hit *6 on your phones if you would like to speak.
Is there anyone there who wishes to speak?
Hi, this is Jennifer.
Could
Can you hear
you,
me okay?
no, could you state your full name again? I think we missed the last name for our records.
It's Jennifer Bowman,
Okay, Jennifer.
BOWMAN.
Okay,
And I just wanted to thank you for adding into the packet kind of what the options for reopening school that you were discussing in your earlier meeting. So I appreciate that being shared. And I don't know if this will be covered further in the agenda, but I didn't know if there was timing, 2 things, if there was timing on when a decision would be made, and if there will be a special board meeting to discuss what the plan is.
okay. So we are moving that agenda item to B, and there will be discussion as to the plan going forward. And we do not know if there will be action at this time or it will be tabled. So
Okay, great.
if we could just invite you to continue to stay listening, then this will reveal some of what has come place, okay?
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't, when you talked about that earlier, I didn't quite catch that, so my apologies.
No, that's all right. We're very much in this together. Is there anyone else
Thank you.
at this time who wishes to present publicly?
I would like to do so.
Okay, do you state your first and last
My-
name?
My name is Barbara Manning.
Okay,
Can you clarify for me that you would rather we hold our comments until that time in the new business that you're discussing this, or would you like our comments now?
oh, we would rather have them here because this is the way the meeting is structured in regards to the public presentation.
Okay, that's fine. Then I have several speaking points, if I may.
Yes, go forward.
Okay, I teach at the high school. I teach science. I've been here. This will be my 7th year. And I'm concerned about having high school students in fixed cohorts. They kind of force kids into one particular cohort. And for example, I might have a student that is an avid reader, can read on a college level, but cannot do math. So if the student is placed in a high cohort because the student can read very well, then it won't be in the same cohort that it needs for math. It'll be placed in a cohort with the stronger math students, just because that's the way things work. So I'm concerned that cohort groups may not work for high school kids. Another concern is that in a scenario where the kids come in for 1 or 2 days a week, and then they do online school for the rest of the time, will they be attending Google Classroom meetings on the days that they are home? In other words, they'd actually be in online class in the same time period that all the other kids who are doing in-school class would be there. So that's just a question I have. And if we're learning at home, can't students be required to attend the class that they would normally be having at the time they would be having it? For example, if I have a biology student and biology is at first hour, then if they're online at home, couldn't they be required to log into the Google Classroom meeting site at the time that first period biology would be meeting? It wouldn't conflict with any of their other classes because they can only be in biology at one time. Or they can only be in one class at one time, and that would be biology. That's just kind of a suggestion there. And also, I am working with a group that is implementing the new student information system with Infinite Campus. And I noticed there were some questions about, can Infinite Campus help us with our attendance and our lesson planning for distance learning? And the answer is absolutely yes. We haven't really pursued that yet because we're still working on the things that have to be done before school gets started. But as soon as we get those done, we will be looking at the online learning attendance and record keeping that Infinite Campus does offer. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Barbara.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, that's good.
Do I respond to this or no?
You know, that public comment is usually, like I said, in that 3-minute frame. And I have seen it done both ways. That again, it's respectful to give feedback and make it immediate. But again, if you believe that it's going to be very lengthy, that it would be best to give some short, direct answers, and then perhaps a telephone conversation or something via email that could explain it further, so that the meeting time is not eat up by this.
Okay.
So I see you, Dan, nodding your head. Is there a direct comment that you wish to make at this time?
On some of it, not necessarily on all of it. On the cohorts, I think that is a concern that we would need to address. On the idea of students who are here for 2 days and then working from home for 2 days, would they be in the Google Classroom at the same time? I'm not sure how that would be possible if we have 2 separate groups. I think that we would have to be blending synchronous and asynchronous learning opportunities for students, so that when they left, they would have the content at home that they would be working on their own. Which goes back to the third question about asking students to attend class from home via Google Classroom in a set schedule. Absolutely, I think that we should be doing that if we're working from home, especially for an extended period of time. And that's slightly different from the 2-on, 2-off idea that we're working with as well. That I would see as if we're taking, seems likely that we might have another spell of 3 to 6 weeks or something like that, where we're going to have to be out of the classroom entirely. And I think we need to have a schedule in place where, yes, students need to be attending classes online in time with teachers for that face-to-face contact, even if it's online.
Thank you for your feedback, and I'd be happy to work with anybody in implementing that any way I can help.
Thank
Barbara,
you.
I can follow up with you on that. I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you very much.
And that helps to, again, the conversation, to narrow our approaches. Is there anyone else who at this time wishes to participate publicly? Okay. Moving on, the superintendent's report.
So my report is in the package. Does anyone have any questions in regards to the report itself?
The Newmont grant, what exactly is that we're applying for, or what we're receiving?
Well, they are giving us $30,000 to be used at our discretion. And I've been in contact with Brad about it, have a meeting with Penny. But it's just something that
They didn't have any stipulations as to what we need to
No.
use it for? Okay.
no, Brad did not refer to anything like that.
Did that go
And
up?
I don't know if someone applied for it maybe last year. Tammy, do you,
No.
with the latest money that Newmont is giving the district, did someone apply for that
Actually,
money or,
no.
okay,
My understanding is they had discussed it with Tori and then Miriam, and it's additional money. It doesn't have anything to do with the application that the elementary group of teachers puts in every year for their 20,000. It's
This
completely
is something
separate.
different, okay.
They just wanted to help out.
I think they released it in May.
Yeah, I believe it was $500,000 to the community
Which includes Fremont.
because of the impact of the COVID-19.
The 500,000 was actually donated to Help Colorado Now. And in that donation, they stipulated that 500,000 needed to go to the counties that they were acting in.
Right.
We did get 25,000 for
Oh, from
that.
that.
That's
So
COVID
this is a
relief fund. This
separate?
is over and above.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good.
So the high school got 30,000 and Junior Elementary got 20?
No, no,
no,
no.
the district's
District
receiving $30,000 to use at our discretion.
Is that the same like what they used to do, the
No,
20,000?
it's in
That's-
addition.
No, it's a different.
It's in addition.
Because the
Okay.
one that Chris Riley worked with was a $20,000.
Uh-huh.
So it sounds like this one is in addition to that.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Okay.
plus 25,000 from COVID.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
For more. No.
Yeah, Goldman hit a new high.
Well, I mean, that's pretty awesome that they're just saying, go with it and do what we need to do. I mean, wish we could get a few more places that could do that, but I also understand why we have to tie money to things too, from time to time. That's way cool. I thought, okay, I'm missing something here, but thank you. Tell them thank you as well.
Oh, yes, we're gonna do a paper, we're gonna do an article in the paper.
Okay. This goes back to our registration with the kids too then. For those that we know want to do the distance learning, do we have the tech prepared for them? Or do we still have some things that we got to cover yet that we need to do tonight?
We have devices. We have online learning programs in the district, but I did want to discuss with the board some other online learning options that we might want to explore.
Okay, and are those, is there going to be a cost involved to families? I know that's a concern.
No.
Good.
A cost involved for us, but not for our families.
But is that still within our budget frame?
Well, with this 30,000 coming into the district from Newmont, it could be used to support that.
And then I also know we're transferring money, or not transferring, are we transferring the money? Is that what we're doing to our general fund from the reserves?
At this point, we don't need the reserves yet, but we still have the COVID relief funds.
But that's why we have the resolution in the packet, so that we are prepared to do it when we need to.
Correct.
Okay, so in the meantime, we do have this covered budget-wise.
Yes, with either COVID relief funds or this additional money coming from Newmont, really it's, it would be at the district's discretion how to fund this, but
We have options.
yes.
We still have FEMA
We've had in the
monies.
past.
Yeah, the FEMA will cover part of the COVID expenses.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, how many different baskets do we have to dip into?
Yeah, to do that.
It's kind of a nice feeling for a change.
I would say we start with COVID funds just because we're supposed to spend them.
Yes,
December
yes,
30th
and they're
calendar
restricted.
year. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you guys have all got some backups in mind?
Well,
When we run out of those.
yes, to a certain degree, but
Yeah, I like, okay. We'll
I
go from there.
did, under the athletic department, under Rick Bowman, with this report, it's like the CHASA guidance COVID-19. Is there any more information about the events or anything that's come out?
no, he hadn't heard, let me take a peek at my notes from my meeting with him, but, from what I remember during our conversation, he hadn't heard anything, changing what we've already been doing based on CHASA guidelines. So, we're still planning on home and away games. They're practicing with safety measures in place. And yeah, all I have in my notes is waiting to hear from CHASA.
Okay, I just had that started.
Okay.
I would like to commend him also for his movie night on the football field.
Yes.
Yeah.
They said they made $1,200, and I thought that was
Wow.
great. I didn't come because that was too close after surgery, but Cody and them did, and they said it was great, and they had a great time, and
Yeah.
the
Good.
kids, the little kids had a great time, Bryn had a fun, so.
And it might be a model
I think
to kind of bring
Well, I
forward
said I
in some
hope they do
other
it again.
respects.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a community thing, right?
yes.
But they said there was like 80 people or something here, so.
Yeah,
I thought
and
that was
even
really
though
good.
the weather wasn't great,
Right.
they
No.
still turned out, so.
And is there a booster club still?
No.
Okay, so I saw the note here, so I was like, did that?
You could start it, honey.
Huh?
You could start it.
Huh?
Yeah. It's a hearing
Yeah, no booster club. We do pay staff to run concession stands and help with games. It'd be great to have a few parents who want to lead those efforts or community members. So we have an actual booster club, but
Well, maybe we could kind of, as a board member, work the concession stand sign up for a couple events,
Okay.
if we can.
Why not?
It's a good
I would
way
like to try
see
the two.
community. Not you, Gary, but, you know,
I can help out.
we can take the tickets.
So for our Zoom people, introduction of new principles.
Yes. So we have, not new to us, but new as the elementary principal for Crescent,
Oh.
Tanya Copley. Tanya's been in the district since 1999 in various roles. But Tanya, what would you like to share?
Wow, I guess, yeah, since, anyone who doesn't know me, I came to Crescent in 98 and I was hired in 99. I've had various roles in the elementary school, worked a little bit in summer schools in the middle school, the junior high. And implemented a lot of the Friday clinics when we first started our Friday clinics and our summer clinics. I have my undergraduate degrees from Purdue University in elementary education with a minor in reading. My master's degrees from Walden in elementary reading and literacy. So I worked the last 2 years as the reading specialist. And then I'm really excited about moving into this new position and learning all of the new things that go with it. And especially in this time where we get to totally reinvent something.
Thank you, Tanya. And coming to us from Austin, Texas, most recently, Honduras, you name it, he's been all over the world. We've got Daniel Cummings as our new secondary principal. Daniel, what would you like to share?
That's a very nice introduction. I feel like there should have been some music, maybe some balloons. That would be nice.
Only for the Zoom people.
Oh, that's
They're
right.
seeing it.
That's right, they're seeing that on the screens. My name is Dan Cummings. I am, as Miriam said, I'm coming most recently from Austin, but that's via Ohio, Albuquerque, Chiapas, Mexico, and La Ceiba, Honduras. But I started my educational career in Aurora, Colorado, where I worked in alternative and experiential education for several years before taking that alternative experiential route and going out and doing various things. This will be my 7th year in a principal position, and I am very much looking forward to it. And to echo Tanya, you know, I think that all this, the madness that is a global pandemic that we're facing, it's important for us to go into this with the understanding that it's also an opportunity, that our education system has been around since the Industrial Revolution, and maybe it's time for us to look at ways to provide education in a different way that will match the needs of our students and our families in a new and enlightening way. And this is forcing us to do that in a very short amount of time. It's kind of like we are building the ship that we are trying to sail on, but I'm pretty enthused about what that could result in. So, glad to be here.
So at last month's meeting, we gave Miriam a turkey roaster filled with stuff, lots of goodies, and with the idea that leading the school district was much like cooking a turkey. So
That's
just
great.
think about that.
Cooking a turkey.
Yeah, so we cannot let you go without a gift.
I am nervous right now.
And so, yeah, let me bring them forward.
You're cooking a meal for us.
That's great.
So
With all those
again,
ingredients.
with the idea that, yes, we'll keep the cooking theme. Dan, this is yours. And so to go along with the turkey dinner, you've got a pot
All right.
to put your contribution in. And here's a nice new Bronco throw that will keep you warm this winter. And here is something inside that throw. And either maybe you're into bicycling, it's a great bicycling area, or you're into drinking. That mug and play ball, and I believe that you're going to be the Three Musketeers, so there's plenty of that, and working gloves.
That's great.
So this is yours.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then Tanya, this is yours. And again, Ghostbusters, I certainly thought there was a connection there. I haven't really figured it all out or articulated it. And then obviously this game with Frazzle that I think you'll probably really enjoy playing. And your theatrical thing, again, it's always good to have that glasses with that artificial nose. And again, the Three Musketeers, and I want you to know that you also will be playing ball, and all your balls are in the bottom of this.
And you got gloves.
And gloves, yes.
They're working
You're
gloves.
gonna be working.
Okay.
So this is
Right.
you.
Thank you, this is awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. So then moving on. Okay, under old business. So we have the first reading of board policies, and we have 3 of them, which I believe we can do as an aggregate. So it's the procurement policies and the TAFF ethics and conflict of interest, GBEA policy, and then board member compensation and expenses, insurance liability, BID, BIE. And so I would say this is an update to our current policies. We get this from CASB that continues to keep us in the loop in regards to what is current. And so are there any questions on those 3 policies? Okay, and with there not being any questions, could I have a motion to go forward with its first reading?
We have to have 2 readings before they're adopted.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
I move that we approve the first reading of the 3 policies that are listed in our board packet.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Beals,
Aye.
Dodrill,
Aye.
Rice. Aye. Schwab.
Aye.
Just as an addendum, under that board member compensation, I want you to take a note that servant leadership has a 10-fold investment strategy. So, claim it.
Okay.
You're not gonna see much money.
When-
Okay, under new business, consent agenda. So we have the minutes, our resignations and recommendations, terminations, non-renewals, and our financial reports. So in that aggregate, are there any questions from the board in regards to your packet information?
I know, I'm being nitpicky and I apologize again. I don't know where it's at now, but it was that Tanya was approved as the acting principal at this time because we still have to advertise
yeah.
for positions. And I'm trying to find where we had that at.
Oh, in regards to the minutes?
Yes.
Oh, in a minute.
Number 7. It's on
Yes.
page 2 of the-
That one, yeah. It should have been, the motion should have been that she's the acting principal at this time, because we still have to go through our process of advertising.
Well, it says acting elementary principal.
Is it in your minutes?
Yeah, it says right there.
Okay, what tab is that?
It's,
Behind
it said
4?
the motion was as Crescent Elementary School principal, and it should be as acting Crescent Elementary School principal.
Oh, but the heading of that,
The
number
heading was
7,
right, but the
says,
motion, the motion
okay,
didn't
okay,
get
I see what you're
correct.
saying.
Okay,
I was out of it.
That's okay.
that's all right.
It was correct for Miriam's, but we didn't have it correct for Tanya's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any
No
other
offense- no offense, dear.
corrections? And, could I have a motion then, please?
Wait, are we on the
No.
budget?
Yeah,
We're on the budget too?
financial reports,
is part of that too.
Oh,
yes.
I did
Um,
have a question.
I just about sent you an email because I was trying to figure out if we cut off lines, but my reports got, one of my reports got put in backwards.
I'm sorry.
So, I was sitting there trying to figure out, okay, why don't I have a category that goes with this? And it was, mine were, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, mine went 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Oh,
I
God,
don't know why, but
that's hard.
I went back and looked just to make sure that I could find it again. And I did, I found what I needed, but it was backwards. Because I couldn't get categories to match up with expenditures, and I couldn't figure out why they weren't in there right.
That would be the-
So I saved myself sending you an email going, I can't find this, Tammy, where is it?
Oh,
But I
you
found
could
it
emailed in.
because it was just backwards, so.
Okay.
I came up with I can't find what our total revenue is. We have a breakdown of the expenditure, like the table, the little pie chart. But I'd kind of like to see something that breaks down the revenue as well. Because I don't know what our bottom line is, and this is the end of our fiscal year, correct? Yeah, so,
This one would be, and it's the last couple of pages, Connie, one is the 2020 budget synopsis of section 6, and
I'm there.
then the last page is June 20 income and expenses kind of lumped. So there's two different forms, and then the last page here actually talks about our tax collection.
Okay, so the balance remaining, are we getting that, or we're not getting the 43,000?
Okay, which one are you talking about?
The very
Oh,
back
we're looking at
end.
the taxes?
On
Yeah,
the very last page.
Actually, we've gotten more than we were supposed to get.
so it's not the last, it's the,
Because it's a negative, it's actually over.
so, wait, okay, so this is the revenue. Is that revenue?
Yeah, you're looking at the next to the last page, right?
Right,
Okay,
because I was looking at the last page, and
Right.
it was like, that didn't explain anything to me. So are we at, because I'm trying to figure out where we are with 100%, where we're matching in the other stuff at the end of the year, or where we're over, because our expenditure should be in the percentage of 100 or less. And so what did we make in the revenue? Are we at 100% or 100% plus?
Actually, for 1920, we were plus.
Okay,
We were actually
it would
over
just
100.
be, I don't know,
We actually have 6.7 million sitting in our cash account right now.
I'm used to my budgets, and so it usually shows last year and this year, and it'll show a chart, like
you
a
like-
graph, like how are we, and or did we meet our percentage or not? So on my budgets,
I can adjust these
Yeah.
reports the way you guys would like to see.
it's just, I don't know,
If that
I'm
makes
much
it
more
easier.
visual, it's hard for me to take a number and go, and then I went through all the percentages, I mean, that was a lot to go, oh, that's under, is that okay, but where are we over, and how did we end up balancing with our expenses to our revenues, and
Would you like a
100%.
comparison to like the budget, last year, the budget, and as we are currently?
or
I can do
where
that
we're
moving forward.
expected, the projected, and where we are.
Or sometimes just putting it in another color.
Yeah.
So if we are over, then that goes into red.
I mean, it's nice, like, that's so visual to me.
Yeah,
And Connie, if you
Yeah,
have
I'm just moving
examples,
forward with
um,
Elaine's reports.
something that works a little better, this is what the previous school board, how they wanted
Okay.
it, but
I was
we can
just
make
like,
those adjustments.
I got
But
expenses.
examples are great, okay, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if you would send me what you're looking at, and I can work with it.
Okay, cool,
okay,
I
sorry.
can work with numbers.
Okay.
No, don't apologize.
I'm colorblind, so the pie charts mean nothing to
But
me.
you can,
You like the numbers.
it's not so much colors, you can still see the divisions.
I can see red, but sometimes, and I had to explain
But-
this to her before, that sometimes when you put letters and numbers in some of the colors,
Oh, yeah,
I can't see them.
right.
So she's gotta put them on the outside
And I
for
know
me, or
Mary
put
has-
them in black, so I
Yeah.
can see them. But
Well, Yeah.
But yeah, I understand what you're talking about, and I know what you're
Or even
looking at.
just like
I-
this or this.
Yeah,
Like a bar graph?
Yeah, like a bar
a
graph.
bar graph helps, but I think we kind of also like to see, like, month to month, are we, how close are we to
Percentage.
expending something from a certain account that we
So maybe
budgeted?
a comparison to prior year and budget,
Uh,
and
You're
then
not
a
looking at
month to
prior
month
year,
as
are
we
you?
go
Like,
along.
You're
You mean
looking at
year to
the
date?
Year to date,
Yeah, like in other words, okay, so for the month of
what the
July,
percentage.
we know that we budgeted $150,000 for this particular item. How much of that have we spent over the course of the year? Because I know there are some things that we will spend immediately, and there are other things that are spent over a period of time. And I do know that we did that in the past, that we would keep track of, it gives us an idea of how close are we getting to the end of that dollar amount to that particular budget item,
Easy enough.
okay?
Okay,
Is that,
yes.
Yeah,
So wait, am I understanding this correctly? So that second to the last page, titled Cripple Creek Victor School District, RE1, June 20.
yeah,
You want that information, but you want it in percentages.
yeah, how much have we used
yeah, what percentage are
each
we?
month?
Okay,
I understand what they want.
Because
okay.
I don't know what they
I
want.
didn't, so I just got it.
Okay.
on this page I
It
have,
won't- So we
what's
don't
the
throw ourselves
percentage
into
at the
panic
bottom?
mode.
The
Got it.
total?
And then all of a
Okay.
sudden, at the
A
end of the year, we're
percentage.
going, we haven't used 99%
No,
of
it does.
this.
Yes, it does.
Or we've used 180% of this. I mean, we
Yes.
understand that there are some things like food budget has to change over the course of the year because of the way markets change for us and how we are able to buy things. We realize that. And we'd like to be able to know that, oh, we're gonna go over the budget on this item because of the following
But we're
things.
under over here.
Right.
So then we can,
Are there ways that we can move things? And we also have to be careful with that because there are some monies that we can't move.
no, but it gives you a visual. I mean,
Yes.
it's like some things, it's like, ooh, the salary or something that we're looking,
Mhm.
what we can do, but.
Right.
It's easier.
It's a visual thing,
Then
I
just-
understand.
I'm like, oh my gosh, my eyes hurt.
So the consent agenda,
Are we ready?
anything, yes. So we had an amendment on the minutes.
Anybody got anything else? I move that we approve the consent agenda with the additions and amendments as they were proposed.
Okay,
I'll
Second,
second it.
okay, roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Fields,
Aye.
Dodrill,
I,
Price,
Aye.
Schwab,
Okay, approval for payment of recurring monthly invoices.
Does payroll not get included with this, or is that something separate because we don't have
That
to
is-
get billed for it?
Yeah, no, that is something separate, and we do report that to you every month,
Okay,
and that's in the financial part section.
okay,
These are bills that just need to get paid, and we don't want to get charged for them.
okay,
Because if they're late, because we waited for July 27th, then Kathy won't be able to send them in time, and then we're going to have late fees. and
Right.
We don't need that.
And,
Tammy, oh, go ahead.
and what is the protocol for if somebody, for some reason says, no, wait, we can't pay that one, or we won't approve paying that one because some company went bankrupt, which happened to a school district many years ago that I was in, and they're going, why are we paying this company when they're bankrupt? I mean, is there a protocol in place for what happens when we say we don't want to approve a bill that's already been paid?
We can always void the check with our bank,
Okay,
or hold payment, or whatever we need to do.
okay,
We have that right.
even though you guys have written the check for it like 20 days before we had the meeting?
We can still pull the check.
Okay.
My question is, I noticed a lot of Amazon in these expenditures, so is Amazon another reoccurring invoice?
No, those actually go on the credit card,
Okay,
so those are good.
so a credit card is
She
a,
just lists it as Amazon when she's putting it in the system, so we know, instead of everything would say Vectra Bank, because that's the card.
okay. Okay,
So we have a motion, please.
I make a motion.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Eric, sorry, Fields,
Aye.
Dodrill,
Aye,
Rice,
Aye.
Schwab,
Okay. to 01, specific resolution authorizing the use of beginning fund balance. Any questions on this?
No, that's just our leftover from last year.
Yes,
This is actually what, when we approved the budget, we're predicting we're gonna need to use the
Okay.
291,000 in fund balance.
That's what I was asking about, but
Yes.
we are not necessarily bound to having to spend this.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay,
We can amend this anytime.
okay.
any other questions from the board?
Miriam, you're good with all that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mary has been talking about this.
okay.
We have a motion, please.
I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 2021-01, specific resolution authorizing use of beginning fund balances.
Okay, hang on. In the agenda, it says 2021-01, but the resolution actually says 2020-01.
Does,
So which one do we need to use so that we can make sure it's right?
2021.
2021-01?
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks for catching that.
are we okay with just going ahead with the resolution the way that you proposed it?
As 2021.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Beals,
Aye.
Dodrill,
Aye.
Rice,
Aye.
Schwab,
Okay. Resolution 2021-02, designation of public notice postings. And we visited this in December of last year.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is something that's done annually at this time.
So this has resolution number 2021, or 2021-02?
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah, we
No, corrected
fixed the other one,
2021,
We had to fix the
01.
other one.
right?
This is 2021, 02.
Okay.
I so move.
Okay,
I'll
was
second
that?
it.
roll call.
Who seconded it? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't hear you at
Who
all.
seconded it?
Gary Lou.
Gary did, okay.
I didn't
Are we getting slap happy here or what? You guys need some oxygen too?
Yeah, give me a
I'm
puff.
sorry, I didn't hear you at all.
Okay,
Eric,
Aye.
Beals,
aye.
Dodrill. Aye. Rice.
Aye.
Schwab,
Aye.
Okay, moving forward then, Head Start, early Head Start contract.
No, you skipped one.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Regular meeting.
Approval of 2020, 2021 board meeting dates. Sorry, well, I was gonna eliminate them all.
We need some new years. These are just the regular meeting dates, folks.
Yes.
That we will have during the course of the year some other meetings that are necessary, but these are the ones that we promise, because we know we've had to adapt in the past. This is what we will have for regular meeting dates as planned anyway. I move that we approve the 2020, 2021 board meeting dates as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Beals,
Aye.
Dodrill,
Aye.
Schwab,
Aye.
Rice,
Okay, now going to Head Start, early Head
No, no.
Start. Are we?
Yeah,
Yeah, Head
Oh,
Start.
I thought we had
the
to,
policies are coming after that.
oh, that,
Yeah,
we're number
okay,
7.
contracts.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
We're all here together.
So she didn't come in this month?
she is online.
Yeah.
Oh.
she's here.
Janice, are you there? If you're muted, hit star 6.
Yes, can you, yes,
There you are.
can you hear me?
Hi,
yes,
Janice.
Hey, how are y'all? Okay.
fine.
Yeah, you're at the Head Start, early Head Start contracts, and all the contracts end in July. So that is for starting August 1 through July 31 of 21. Those contracts do include, for the partners, that does include the COLA increase. And we just, yeah, so it's just that time of year when we sign those. In addition to the partners, there's 5 of those. The nurse contract
the education coordinator contract, and the behavior specialist contract is also included in the packet.
All right, thank you. Looks good.
Any
And
questions for the board?
all of this was run by, our legal earlier, right?
Those contracts were run through the legal last year, so the only thing that we've changed is the amount and then the date from 1920 to 2021. And all the other, the nurse contract and the education contract has been run by legal last year. The behavior specialist is based on the nurse's contract, but that would be one that he hasn't physically looked at, but it's the same format.
Okay.
Janice, I have a question. On the child care center provider agreement, so I'm
Yes.
looking at, 15 compliance, monitoring, and 18 maintain physical environment. Would that cover, any COVID, guidance that comes down for child care centers?
I would have to look at that. I don't know. Does anybody else have an opinion about that? I'd have to go back and look at that. You said that was 15 and 18?
Yeah, I don't know if any guidance that comes through regarding COVID, if those two clauses cover that or not.
I would think 18 would be covered by the state because they're the ones that issue that
Okay.
agreement. But
Okay. That's kind of what I thought too, but all right.
Okay.
If they
All
say
right.
as directed by Head Start, surely they would, well, but we've seen this in the past though, where they suddenly give us something like the day before,
Yeah.
and we're told that we have to update
Well, and especially with COVID, it's coming
Yeah.
out every other.
every other day. Is there a way we can put an addendum in there to say as, I don't wanna say as needed, because that leaves it way too broad for us.
Maybe as directed or something?
As directed, well, but it's saying as directed in there,
Yeah,
that,
it says maintain physical environment of facility as required by the state of
I don't know, do you
Colorado.
think we're covering it?
I would think it's
I
covered.
think the
because-
Yeah, I would
covers
too.
it, yeah.
We get, like, where I have a childcare center where I'm at, and they give us
Things on a
every
daily
day,
basis.
yeah,
I would
on
think
what's
that's,
required.
yeah, I think we're safe on that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I guess the only thing that I'd say with that is, if we need to, we can revisit it next month, and maybe you and Janice can just double check.
Mhm.
And we can still approve it, and if we need to
Okay,
make a change, we can.
okay. And a motion then, please?
So moved. Can I
Okay,
say that?
a second?
I like it.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call?
Eric,
I don't know if I should approve your, aye.
Fields,
Aye.
Dodrill,
Aye.
Rice,
Aye.
Schwab.
Okay, so now we're coming up to number 7, which is our amended change, which is the board policy attendance changes.
That starts with 2DIA, right? Or are we
Yes,
looking at
I see.
Number 3.
IC?
okay. So I'm
Yes.
presuming that, Miriam, you're gonna lead the conversation on this.
Yes, and so I don't, you guys, if I'm doing this wrong, tell me, but.
will.
I attended the CASB webinar today at 3:00, and I have the guidance to, amend, policy ICICA.
Get that.
I guess my intention, during the work session was to tell you what changes they are recommending.
Okay,
Is that appropriate for this time?
Which one do you want to do first?
ICICA,
So that's fine.
school year, school calendar, instruction time.
Okay,
Okay,
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, they're way in the
Yeah.
back, they're under tab 13,
Okay.
because it was originally information
Oh,
and we
yes,
moved it up.
that's right, that's right. I remember
so has this
reading-
gone up or down?
Actually, I think this is what it's been, hasn't it?
yeah, I think it's just spelled out.
So the recommendation from CASB is for the board to change all of the shall to must
Oh, boy.
in ICICA.
Okay.
And if it is shall not, the recommendation is to change that to does not.
Interesting.
In the paragraph beginning, so we're down 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down, the board defines actively engaged in the educational process. The recommendation is to add in for the 2021 school year.
Where did you say
Say
that
that
goes?
again, yeah.
Right after educational process.
So on the paragraph that begins, the board defines actively engaged in
Okay,
the educational process. The recommendation is for us to begin that with for the 2020-21 school year. The board defines
Oh, okay.
actively engaged in the educational process.
So hopefully it changes next year, is that what that?
Yes, so if we make these changes, keep in mind we've got to change them
Again.
again.
Next year.
And hopefully for the better, right?
So-
And then hope we can get some consistency from that point on.
Yeah, and really what we could do is just pull out for the 2021 school year and anything that is, however, we might not want to change too much more than the year, because if we do get approved for an online program, then we're gonna wanna keep this language in the policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then in that same paragraph, the recommendation is to also includes all of the below. So classroom instruction time, all of those bullet points, okay? Plus instruction delivered electronically.
So you add that as a bullet point, or?
Just in that paragraph. So, it would say something to the effect of, under the supervision of a licensed teacher, includes all of the below and instruction delivered electronically. So
Oh, okay.
Okay, got
a
it.
statement within that paragraph.
Can't read my writing, but I got it.
Also, delivered electronically and/or use of other types of independent remote work time for students. Do you guys just want a copy
Yes, please.
of this? Okay.
Yeah, and
At some point.
I'm almost thinking that, again, is this, again, like our other policies that it has to be read once and approved at that reading, and then a second reading?
The 3 readings.
Yeah,
I think this would be considered the first reading, and then I think you have to just do it one more time, right? I
Right.
think it's just.
That's what
the
I
next
thought.
board
Yeah, as
meeting.
long as
Yeah.
As long as you're presenting this to us now and that you want us to be able to adopt this, you're giving us all the changes and we just say, this is our first reading. That's the way that I've
Right,
always
I
understood it too.
agree with that.
So I have a question.
But-
Oh.
Would I then rewrite the policy as it should be? Who does that then? Who rewrites it?
Typically, I think it would.
Oh,
Yeah, it's together is what it's usually done.
okay. Would you guys prefer copies of this, so you can, or do you want me to just read it out to you, the recommendations from CASB?
well, I think it would be better if it was written and we could see it, because it's not just one change, it's several. And to take and see it, I'm also a little bit nervous that again, our people are not seeing these in their entirety or as finalized.
Okay.
And so in my mind, unless there's some kind of critical aspect to the timeline, I would say they need to be back in our packets for next month. But again, I'm not sure as to what you're trying to achieve here.
Did they tell you a timeline of when it needed to be approved, or?
They didn't give me a date necessarily, but I would say that this needs to be something that we get started on.
Well, and I think if you do the first reading tonight, and then you change your mind, like for next time, you can still make those changes next board meeting.
I can see it that way, but then I'm thinking, well, if this is not critical, that
These changes just came to you
today.
At 3
Right.
o'clock, yes.
Okay, then we can still do this as a first reading today. I mean, the time constraint for us was, we don't seem to have a time constraint to get it done today. But we can do the first reading based on the recommendations that were given to us.
So you can,
And then you can take
Right.
it, and you can read it, I think we can put it out there for people to see, if there's changes we need to make, we
Right.
can make those changes next
the
month,
second
and then
reading.
it's done, right?
Yes, we can still do it that way.
Okay, so how many more add-ons are you gonna put into this, just this ICA?
Well, it is,
Oh, goody.
the policy should speak to remote learning. And anything else that we might do in a remote learning situation. So it could be online learning, it could be packets, it could be pre-recorded classes or other methods utilized by the district for remote learning.
So you're just trying to get everything listed that we need to have in there to cover all of our bases.
Yes, and that was my goal for this, was
Oh.
to share with you what the recommendations of CASB are for this policy.
Okay,
Well, I mean, if they've said this is what we should do.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's something you can always change, like if
Okay.
something comes up and you're like, that's really not working for us, then we can revisit it and change.
okay. Well, it seems like there's a thrust here to go forward and put this up for the first reading, and then put it in the next board packet in its entirety, so that everyone then could see it without just taking notes.
Okay.
Okay,
I-
so a first reading and a second reading, but then we also have others. So this is just the back one, the ICA,
Yes.
but we still have the DIA,
And the EBCE.
yeah, the EBCE.
Are there any changes on those that they suggested?
No, the current language covers the COVID.
Okay.
Okay,
Current
Okay.
language covers COVID.
Okay, and so those are, again, need to go forward just as an annual renewal?
no,
If there's no changes?
this isn't an annual renewal. This is something that we will be putting in as policy, as it's written right now.
Okay,
This would be
so
the
we
first
don't
reading.
have this on our books?
No, we do, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, these are
we
on our
should.
books right
This is
now.
the way it is.
Yeah,
And I think you could, so if you look on there, it tells you when it was originally adopted and revised, and then
Okay,
revised again.
But on the attendance policy, it needs to be put in place before the start of school
Right.
in order for it to count. So if we're going to count our remote learning students, according to our new policy, we need to have the policy adopted before the start of school. Our regular scheduled board meeting is not until the 24th of August, so we may need to do a special board meeting to adopt that policy.
that's which one?
that's ICA.
Thank you, Karen.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
Okay, so I'm still trying to sort this out. So basically, what we're asking then in terms of action is to go forward as a first reading with these three policies.
Yes.
With the idea that next month or at a special meeting, the exact verbiage will be in place. Okay, so may I have a motion then?
Oh, Lord.
Go, Bill.
I move that we approve a first reading on policies DIA, EBCE, IC/ICA, with the understanding that prior to the start of the school year, we will review IC/ICA before school year starts, as we have to have that one in place.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Beals,
Aye.
Boswell,
Aye.
Rice,
Aye.
Schwab,
Aye.
And we can set up another meeting for that later.
Yes, I've noted that. Okay, alternative education
Madam
program.
President. Madam
Oh,
President.
yes,
Mary,
Yeah.
there is another policy that we need to look at before August,
No.
14th too, and I just found this out during the meeting today, and that is our Title IX policies. So if we're going to set another board meeting, a special board meeting to review the ICICA, I think we should also include the Title IX policies, and I have those numbers, I don't know, or policy letters.
so, and again, they would have to be listed as action items.
Yeah, I just
In
found
that,
out, Mary.
yeah, no, but I
At
mean,
3
in
o'clock.
terms of the special meeting.
Okay,
So,
Are we gonna not?
August 14th is our deadline
August 14th,
for Title
So
IX.
we need to
Okay.
make,
and, okay, so,
Is that one that we're gonna have to do 2 readings on as well?
It says, hold on, I have notes about that.
We may just have to be fluid with this and do it as quickly as we can,
Yeah,
since we can't really change our meeting as we've done it now. We might have to just say,
because of the time constraints, I'm not seeing where it says that there has to be 3 meetings.
so it
Or
would
three
be 5
readings on
for
it, sorry.
the
well, it's
third,
already existing policy, right? I think we only have to have 2 if we have to make changes, and then it's adopted on the second one. I think it's only if we're creating a brand new policy, we have to do 3, isn't that
Oh.
correct?
Okay.
so, then, Bill, this is 2 readings on this Title IX?
I
No,
think,
we-
isn't it, we just
We
have to
need
do
2, right.
2,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've got to figure
By
out how to
14th.
squeeze that in before the 14th of August.
so I'm saying 2 readings by the 14th.
Because it wasn't on the agenda for
Right.
tonight.
Yeah. Okay, and next time, anytime, something like this, you're thrown this kind, or blindsided, is always be aware of amending the agenda so that we can kind of not have 2 special meetings before the board meeting. So I'm trying to think, we have the 3rd, August 3rd, we have August 9th. Those are Mondays,
And if those are just for those,
Title IX and the IC.
Right, we can do
ICA.
virtual for
Yeah.
those.
Can we?
Yes.
Oh, well, then that's wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, I think we can just, I don't think we have a problem with that.
no.
I mean, everybody's understanding that we've got situations that we can't get there every minute, so.
Okay,
let's
so,
Just, and as long as we've got 3 of us, we're good.
3rd or the 10th.
well, it would
May I
probably have to be
interject a
both.
moment as the
Yes.
Title IX officer?
Yes,
There's no way Michael and I can get this done by the 3rd.
okay.
Okay, well.
So what about the 9th? The 9th is a
I think
Monday.
the 9th is doable.
No, I guess it's the
I
10th.
believe the 9th would be doable.
Pardon?
I
Barbara,
think the
when,
9th would be fine.
The 9th is Sunday.
sorry, I messed up on that. It's the 10th,
That would be even better.
okay?
Can we still get 2 readings in on that?
By
So
the,
that would be 2 in the same week, is that?
Yeah,
Well, we could do the 10th and the 11th. Because if it's virtual, we could just run it, okay, this is what we're gonna
I
do.
think we have to have a little more
At
of a
least a
gap in
24
there.
hours and to,
Yeah.
to post a meeting.
Right,
Well, if they both are posted at the same time,
Both at the same time.
yeah.
That's
but I-
true.
I
that
think-
would save.
But I think in terms of the readings, we still have to have a gap in between there.
So make it the 10th and the 12th,
Yeah.
Monday and
Can
Wednesday.
you check on that for us and see? And then you could just do a quick email out to us and say, we have to do it on these dates.
And then we could still do the posting at the same time.
Right, post a
And that would save the
Who
time.
can do virtual dates, and we can just tell you yes or no, as long as we've got the 3, we're good.
Okay, so
Virtual and what time, though?
same, 6.
Yeah, I can do it the best that I can, but I can't promise.
Okay,
We're in
so,
flux at work right at the moment, so.
So can I ask something? Can we do the ICA, whatever, that one, and this one at the same time?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the 10th and the 12th, virtual meeting, 6 o'clock. With this being the sole agenda items. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Something changes.
I think we can even eliminate public participation for those meetings.
okay,
Because we've been talking about this tonight, so.
okay,
And if somebody out there is listening, if you've got concerns about either one of these, I say fire the information to Miriam, and then that way it can be synthesized out as much as possible.
okay. Alternative education program.
So this is just informational. I've been meeting with Brandon. And now that Dan has started back officially and has a background in alternative education, just so that you guys are aware, we will be supporting students through more of a project-based learning approach, through partnering with the city, hopefully, and looking into how to equate their knowledge or their performance on these project-based learning projects, how that can transfer over into a credit with a portfolio of sorts that reflects what the students know and can do. We're trying to get away from just putting the kids in front of computers for credit recovery.
It's really
Just
interesting.
information.
Thank you.
So I guess my concerns on that would be a few things. Number one, its origins. There was a social competency, skill building component, and that was discovery. Is that still going forward?
What was that part of, Mary?
Of the alternative program. So the alternative program was based on 3 pillars. One was flex scheduling, non-traditional curriculum, and a skill building in terms of social competency.
Yes.
You know, like anger management, negative resistance, those types of things. And so we gravitated to the discovery program. Also, because from the very beginning, it was driven also by goals and objectives. And the goals were around academic achievement, attendance, and social emotional behaviors. So I would not want to see us backtrack in terms of what we've achieved with the model. And there were many years where we had 100% graduation rate. And at sometimes we were serving over 70 through that school. So again, there's a huge legacy of evidence-based research to prove that, yes, we were very effectual. And so I would like to see the continuum of that and how that's going to be addressed.
And I know that I have asked Brandon to prepare a presentation to share with the school board on the alternative education program. So you can tell me when you would like to see that presentation. The goal really is to get kids away from credit recovery on a computer all day long and to.
Yes, and that was not what it was.
And Mary, that's what I would interject on that. My conversations with Brandon already, I don't know when it moved to that, but it sounds like what it's been in the recent year or years is not at all what you're describing.
No,
And Brandon's impetus is to move it back in that direction. And so when we're talking about portfolios, those portfolios would include goals and objectives around social emotional learning, around academics, around life skills as well. And Brandon's job is to find that in between of how do we also prove that those are meeting state standards, et cetera, et cetera.
okay. So we wrote the EARS grant, and that EARS grant, we got a letter back detailing where we scored. And I would think that he needs to be apprised of that document, as well as the submission of the EARS grant, which is the at-risk of expulsion grant, so that, again, he is building on that information. In particular, the needs assessment. Out of a possible score of 44, there were 43 points that were achieved on that. The lowest scoring piece on that was the plan. And we pretty much knew that that plan was fraught with holes. But, 2 days prior to the deadline of the grant, we were, we did what we could. So it seems to me that he should be versed in this. In my professional career as a grant writer, this is the best grant that I've ever been involved with because of how it has been delineated in terms of its rubric in understanding what is to be achieved in an alternative education program. And I believe we will have another chance to go forward with that EARS grant. That EARS grant, as written, was a little over $1 million. And again, a 4-year thing.
So did
So-
we get it or not get it?
No, we did not. And we did not score below the possible entrance to getting that, but because of their funding constraints, they made the bar much higher. And they also chose to invest in present programs that, we'd ended the cycle. So, again, I would like to take and see that there's, standing on the shoulders of what has been done.
And I truly believe that that's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
It's already
Again, it had a stellar record.
just fine-tuned.
Yeah. But, I obviously am not going to go into this, but, for a few reasons, it went away. Or, and again, you don't control all things.
Mary, could I ask, is there somewhere I could get documentation about how the program used to be run? Any kind of structural forms or
Yes,
would that be?
yes.
'Cause I-
10 years grant
That is
application.
exactly what we're trying to build that back up. But it would be wonderful to have access to any of the information about how it used to work.
Yes.
And succeed.
then the school health professional grant.
Again, just informational, just wanted you guys to know that that was submitted on July 16th. There is no timeline set forth stating when we will know, but again, it was submitted on July 16th.
Okay.
President Mary,
Yes,
did we go over the informational Head Start?
No.
Didn't we skip that?
Yeah, we
Did
kind of
we?
skipped it. I was gonna wait till
Sorry.
we got to the end of the school accreditation contract, because.
yeah, and then I'll bring it back up again.
In there.
Sorry.
She is.
I was like,
Um,
To that part.
Okay. School accreditation contract.
We received the school accreditation contract on July 13th. Our district was accredited with improvement for low participation.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
It means that our accreditation dropped because of our low participation rates on the state standardized test.
The
Wait a
standardized test that they told us we didn't have to do?
How-
Yep, that's the one.
How can,
Oh, those idiots.
That's the one.
oh my God, do I have to go call him again? Jeez.
So, we were given forgiveness on that.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what I thought too.
This is what came on the 13th of July.
So,
Oh, that does
then-
not fly. I'm sorry.
I would guess that, obviously, we're taking exception to this. So I would believe that there needs to be some type of reply. I mean, again, is it like a court that there's an appeals process? Or is there some dialogue that could be engaged in that we would have some understanding or clarification as to the accuracy of this judgment?
We can renegotiate at any time based upon appropriate and reasonable changes in circumstances upon which the original terms of the contract were based.
So my thought is that we do need to go forward with a renegotiation. But then also an understanding that, okay, if this is possible or not possible, then what type of support mechanisms are they going to be ready to put in place to help us meet the benchmarks?
Has this already been renegotiated?
Renegotiated, yeah.
Is this for the
And
same
it's
timeframe? It's not,
the
we're not like a year behind, are we, like?
I don't know.
This
That's
is
a good
for the
question.
1920 school year, right? Isn't that what this was based on? If I read that right?
Yes. Hold on, let me double check.
I mean, when I'm looking up. when I'm
We're
looking-
always a year behind. So is it 1920 or 18?
So you mean,
Well, no, it says 2021.
No, but I mean, the accreditation is based on what happened in the 1920 school year.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
okay.
2019.
But
No, yeah, the
19 and
2019, 2020 school year.
But I
Okay.
don't know if this accreditation contract is, because we didn't do
We couldn't do the testing.
testing.
No.
So this would be based on how we performed in the 18-19 school year.
We didn't do testing in 1920
18,
because we were out because of COVID.
And I would
Right.
think that was the whole state.
2018,
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
So could you just get some clarification and bring that back to our next board meeting? Or at least email us as to what the status of that is?
I have a hard time believing that we had a low participation rate, but Tanya, maybe you can talk to that a
We
little bit?
actually did.
We did?
There was a difference between the rating of Crescent and the secondary. And so this somehow is, my understanding is the way they tabulated all the numbers but there was, definitely a difference between Crescent and the secondary.
Really?
So Crescent was lower?
No, Crescent was higher.
Okay, and that's usually the norm.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I have some, if I dig, I can find some stuff from when we were working on my IEP and from the accountability meetings.
Okay,
but
So-
quote from-
if you would just give us a update on that. Okay, and then next is going back to Head Start. Sorry, Janice, EHS grant narrative and attendance and enrollment. So are there
So
any,
so in your packet, there was the rough draft of the grant narrative. That grant is due on October 1. So we have August, and then we'll have to get final approval for that to be submitted in September, but we're just giving a couple months of being able to read through it because it's several pages. So it's just informational, but we'll take any suggestions or changes anybody would have over by the next board meeting, and I still have another month after that to make changes. And then the attendance report is just, the early Head Start starting June 22nd. So there's only a couple weeks on that report, and then the Child Care Partnership attendance is for the whole month. I was going to update you on Grammy Camp and Just for Kids attendance. Just for Kids did have to close for 2 weeks due to a couple COVID cases in the building. And then Grammy Camp, he's seeing the numbers spike. He and his wife are close to 70 years old, so they decided to close down for 2 weeks.
okay,
And all of those numbers get factored into what you have to report.
Yes, right, and right. In fact, Head Start right now is asking every 2 weeks we have to tell how many people we are serving in person, not remote or anything. How many people are actually coming to the building where we serve them in person. So every 2 weeks I have to give them a report, and I have to also report if a center is open or not, and they have several different choices because Head Start, they don't meet in the summer, so I have to say Head Start doesn't meet in the summer, but Early Head Start does meet in the summer, and so those numbers are given out every 2 weeks now.
Okay.
And you said this is due October
1st.
October 1, yes.
Okay.
I thought it was
We have
very
August still
good.
to look at it, and we have also September will have the final approval, because I'll have to send the minutes and the statement from the board president will be, we'll get that in September.
Okay,
Yes, I read through it and I thought it looked very good and I learned a lot about the program, so thank you very much. I didn't know there was
Good.
different things about frog and what IDEA was all
Yeah.
about, but I'm very much more educated. And so as a newbie, kind of knowing about it, but, you know, it described quite a bit, so as a new person reading it, I thought it was very informative.
I think you should
Yeah, so that's just another, well, since you brought that up, that is what they call a baseline grant. So what this grant is we're writing off for the next 5 years. So this is the baseline grant, so it's a little bit more, it's different than the continuation grants where we just continue the grant. This is what they call a baseline.
I think for our next big review, you should pick Connie to be our representative to speak at the question and answer stuff. Actually, you should go through a review once. It's actually very enlightening.
That would be good.
It's quite a deal, and the questions that they ask are, everything is done real time when they report back to their offices, and it's, a review is quite amazing.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Janice. Okay, now,
Thank you.
executive session.
Do we have to do any personnel stuff? Or is it just the legal that we're talking about?
I believe we do have a personnel,
We do, okay.
yes. Okay.
You're looking baffled.
Well, what I was thinking is, do we have to take and figure out how we do this advertising
Oh,
for the acting superintendent and the acting principal? I don't think that we've lit on how that is going to be achieved. And I don't necessarily need to bring it into the executive session. I just, need some kind of action plan moving forward. And I do not have a lot of understanding about that still.
Okay,
No.
Some guidance from Case.
right.
Okay.
And I don't think that's necessarily a personnel matter.
Okay,
Because that is something that we would have to discuss in open session. to
Okay.
determine if we're gonna do
yeah,
that.
it isn't anything that
Yeah,
needs to be outside the sight of the public. But I just don't know when, and maybe that needs, we could talk about that in terms of board thoughts.
So is there anyone you want to invite to the meeting besides Mr. Spanik? So I can include him on there.
We would probably need Miriam. I don't know about the principals.
I think they can do this.
Okay,
Yeah,
and do we need Tammy for this too, or does she have the information that we need?
John has it.
John has it?
Yeah,
Okay,
John,
I think
yeah.
just Miriam is all we would need then at the time.
I am gonna need to run the computers.
Oh. okay.
yeah, and
Then we
I
just-
kind of feel like at this point,
Yeah,
I know that, when we first started with this, that Elaine ran a lot of the footwork for Tori in order to understand with Kelly Dude and his
Okay.
firm about things, so I
You are
think the
now in a breakout
administrative piece-
session.
We are?
I just moved this over, sorry.
Okay,
I make a
So-
motion to
So-
go to executive.
well,
I know I first have to say, executive, don't I?
do we need personnel matters discussed?
No.
Okay. I would move that pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 24-6-402 subsections 4L, that we go into an executive session to discuss legal matters, and we will include Miriam and Tammy in our conversation, and John Stanek, correct?
So, second.
Okay, so now's the break. Okay,
Ready?
motion, please.
I move that we adjourn from executive session and return to regular session.
I second it.
At whatever time is indicated up there,
27.
8:28.
Okay,
I second it.
roll call.
Eric,
Aye.
Beal,
Aye.
Dodrill,
Aye.
Rice,
Hi.
Schwab,
You are now in the main session.
Okay, so we have no action out of executive session.
No.
So, under board thoughts, so there was a couple things. One is that, what's the plan to remove this, the acting superintendent
You're removing me
forward?
already, Jane?
No.
Sorry.
Just, well, we have that verbalization of acting. And it's because we are required by state statute to advertise for the position, which we did not.
So it is a local decision. According to
Casby.
yes.
Yep.
You are not required to conduct a superintendent search. It is up to the school board whether or not you conduct a superintendent search. While I'm in this role as acting superintendent, you have a decision to make. The recommendation is if you are going to do a superintendent search, that you start early, anywhere from October to January, you begin the process because there are so many things involved in a search, but you are not required to conduct a superintendent search.
See, I thought because we have federal programs that there are other things that we do have to cover with that, which includes following EEOC guidelines. I understand where Casby's coming from when they're talking about looking at this from a state point of view, but because of the federal programs, I think since you're an administrator over all of those programs, I think we still have to at least make that attempt.
Yeah, and I can, we can certainly look into that, deeper. The CASB didn't have anything in regarding to federal funding and the search.
Where are you thinking it comes from, Bill?
From the EEOC.
Well, my thought is that if you check with CASB, perhaps it just needs to go back to John Stanek. And we say, how do we deal with this? It would be, my feeling is that that's sort of bogus. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I'm bought into you, I'm bought into you. I wanna take and see that you are successful and that, you know that we have your support, that you have our support. I'm going to say that if you look at our board calendar, your contract comes up for renewal in February. So by February, if we don't know that you're doing well in this position, then we will start to advertise. So that's, what is that? That's August, September, October,
6
November,
months.
December, January, 5. Is it 5, 6?
By the time we have to
6
start.
months, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would just as soon keep this clean and simple.
And I'm gonna
If we
forward you
can.
the information that was shared with me,
Yeah,
okay?
I've seen this before, that's why I was questioning the other part with the federal funding. And that's what I need clarification on.
Okay.
Federal spending,
Okay.
EEOC.
As far as your emails, the only one that I'm sure of is Mary needs to go to the Aspen Mind Center. As far as the rest of you, do you have a preference as to where I send your school board emails?
My personal one, the,
So that's the WD
Eric,
Eric at
yeah.
MSN, got it?
I would prefer the school one.
Okay,
School one.
okay. You want cripplecreek.co.us or do you want school?
Not school. Because I have my personal, I have work and school.
What would you prefer, Connie?
Yeah.
Bristol?
Which one?
Yeah. Personal. Personal.
I may not have your personal, so give it to me real quick.
It's c.dodrell@gmail.com.
C.
And-
Dodrell, letter C.
Yeah, it's like bookend c,
Okay, at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Got it.
And if you feel so inclined, you can send it to work if it's during the workday. Because it's hard, because sometimes personal email, I will not get it till after 8 o'clock.
Okay.
If it's a work week, then Monday through Thursday, I'm pretty good about having it through my work email.
Yeah, I'll just do whatever you guys
If you could
prefer.
do, if you could do both, I mean, I don't like to be problematic, but
Oh, yeah, you do.
So
I
you're
really
the
am high
Cripple
maintenance.
Creek and your personal?
Yeah.
Or CCV and your personal?
No.
Cripple
Work,
Creek.
yeah, Cripple Creek
Got it.
and personal, because I am high maintenance, so there. I admit it.
We've known that for years.
It's all right.
Oh,
We still love you.
Okay, so then another thing I had as a board thought is, so Merrill's report. And again, we've seen that Chromebook policy issue now in 3 of her reports. And I believe that we need to deal with that. And so maybe at our special meeting, that there needs to be a new policy crafted in regards to the Chromebooks, again, if they're damaged, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to look at that, see what other districts are doing, especially districts of poverty. That, again, what can we put in there? You know, she gave several suggestions. So I would like that to be an agenda item for the next board meeting. It doesn't necessarily have to be this
August
this
10th.
one, but I'm thinking if we're gonna start distributing Chromebooks and we're gonna have people sign these policies
Yeah.
that we already know are bogus, I mean, you know, that they are not enforceable, then I think that's an exercise in futility. So if there's possible that you could bring something forward for the August 10th meeting in regards to that.
On that same vein, we're considering having parents also sign agreements regarding online learning and also bus transportation. Do you want to see those too
Yes,
while we're looking at, okay?
yes.
so you're doing that for the next regular meeting, right?
No, for this one on the 10th.
On the 10th, okay.
So we can get things in place before school starts. and-
Yeah, so 3 is the policies on the Chromebook, attendance,
And bus,
and bus.
transportation.
Okay,
I
Well,
had
the
that
bus
noted.
transportation, the online learning is more of, as a parent, you agree to this if you're going to do online.
okay, on a policy on online learning or participation,
If they choose.
participation in
Yeah, not necessarily
online
a
learning.
policy, but an agreement or
Okay.
an MOU or
Okay,
some
so-
sort with families.
Okay, online learning
Contract,
and
Right, or
transportation.
a contract, yeah.
or like a contract.
Okay, yeah, some kind of agreement.
Yes.
Or transportation, and transportation too? Okay,
Talk to John about
yeah, I'm thinking if they come back and if you could think of anything else that we need to take and have in place, because you said our next meeting's the 24th of August?
It will be until the 24th, the regular meeting.
Yeah, so anything that has to come prior to the 24th, let's try to just put it all together.
We also have the 12th.
On the policy, our, policy on policy adoption, revision, review states that, let's see, revisions mandated by changes in law, which is what we're looking at, shall not require a second reading and may be adopted upon final vote at the second meeting.
Okay,
So we could actually, at this next meeting,
do these revisions.
Make it, do it.
Okay,
Okay,
we could.
so then we wouldn't have to meeting on the 12th
But
then?
wasn't there one we didn't get to do a first
The
reading?
Title IX.
The Title
yeah.
IX.
But because we are under constraints,
Then we don't have to do the second.
yes.
And we are constrained.
Yeah, we are.
Well, yeah, they tell us today, August 14th.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing it. Was
Yeah.
at
So-
3 o'clock today.
It would be my preference, instead of it being a virtual meeting and instead of me going to Connie's house, is just to come
Aw.
here. Is that better? I mean,
I mean, I can come here.
I'd rather just come
I'll
here.
be here, so.
I'll be
it
here.
probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather see you guys and maybe we could have
You
pizza.
live a long ways away.
I
Just-
think, remember, can be here, but you're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other thing that she mentioned was selling the cameras in her report, that she
Oh,
could
yeah.
get some monies
Yeah.
for those cameras. And I don't know that that needs to come to us, that's an executive decision.
Okay.
I mean, we're not getting thousands of dollars for those suckers.
It's gonna be a lot.
No.
and it's not, it would just be part of our monthly expenditure report or revenue report.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not something that we would, I mean, we still would approve it at some point when we're doing the financials.
Right,
okay.
with the audit, but
Anybody else got a thought?
yes.
Okay, go.
Well, I did have that about with
Cameras.
Merrill, with all of that. I was like, okay, this is the second time action, please. So I'm glad that we can get that going. And the other thing I did send out, and I did send this to Tammy and to Miriam, but it's the ACEs training, that it's free and it's online, but very good about, it's the adverse childhood experiences. And it tells a lot about how this is brain and affects the children's learning and other functions or mental health. So I would highly recommend it. Yeah, I brought these, so if anybody wanted them,
So-
if you wanted to post them.
I'll have one.
But it's,
Yeah, I mean, are they gonna have them?
yeah, it's so, I've had all my employees take the training, and we got to do it in person, but it's really nice that it will be, oops, online. Am I the camera? But it is very good, it just kind of talks about, a lot of the different abuses that kids have, how it does affect their brain. And then, the stuff that happens in school with bullying or things that are going on at home, that you can kind of be a little bit more, aware of what might be going on that's not visible.
Okay.
And it's free.
Any other thoughts or?
I know I'm gonna get asked this by a lot of people, so we are looking at beginning August 19th
Yes,
in school.
yes.
Okay,
Model B.
Model B, but that means that there's still an option for parents to remain at home with their children.
Yes.
Okay,
So is there going to be some kind of statement made? Somewhere?
Yeah, it'll be
Yes.
on, I wanted to have the conversation with the board tonight. It will be on the website, it'll be going out, in the newsletter, it's gonna be,
and it will also be explained to the parents when they're registering
Yes.
that what we're doing, so, okay.
So there seems to be this thrust of schools starting not until after Labor Day.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
so-
did hear that.
You know, and then there was quite an article in the Indy about the Manitou School District.
yeah, Manitou,
I thought District 11 was gonna wait till after Labor Day also, weren't they? Is that what you
D11.
read? And District 20 is doing a hybrid thing,
I think so.
I
Tanya?
thought D11 said today that all of their elementary schools are going back in person.
The first of what?
In person.
In person, okay.
The junior high is going back in person, but on a block schedule. And then. the
And they're
high school,
rotating that, right?
Just the block schedule part of it,
Okay,
and then, so that their cohorts are together. And then their high schools are gonna have the rotations, because that's where they have the highest populations.
okay. And District 20, did you
I didn't
remember
catch
seeing anything? I
20.
thought I saw something about a hybrid, but I've never seen anything
District
more.
20 requiring masks over 10 years of age, everybody while entering buildings, teachers determine classroom, no passing periods, 2 classes per day, midday bus route. So they're having kids come in for 2 classes per day, then sending them home and bringing in another group.
Oh, okay, so they are mixing it up, okay.
Freshmen on Mondays, sophomores on Tuesdays, juniors on Wednesdays, seniors on Thursdays, online the other days of the week. So that's in
That's
person.
what it is.
So one day, they're basically going 1 day a week in person, and then,
Yes.
For 2
and
hours.
that's District 20?
District 20, okay.
And teachers rotate, students remain in classroom for the middle school, and their day is based on their schedule. That's D20.
Okay.
Elementary school has a different plan, they didn't go into detail. Manitou Springs isn't starting until August 21st, they're doing a hybrid model, so a
Okay.
combination of in-person and online. Focus will be at-risk students, elementary, special education students, middle school, high school, remote with small group instruction, one-on-one and tutoring services.
Anything like from Hanover or, oh shoot, now I'm drawing a blank on the one out there east of Ellicott,
Callahan?
Miami Yoder,
Oh,
nothing, they haven't said anything yet either.
No.
Yeah, Callahan had something online and so did, Peyton. And Ellicott had something online too, I can't remember what they said, I just looked at them briefly. But I thought they were starting after Labor Day also.
Yeah, they just mentioned like DPS, they're not gonna return to in-person, Pueblo 70's not returning. D11 is going to return, but, you know.
And of course, all this is still,
I
What?
think that
It
will
could.
change.
yeah, I think all this is subject to change
Right.
because something could happen in the next 4 weeks and the Department of Education says, okay, everybody, you have to do this.
So, and I don't know if you guys probably didn't see this yet, but I think we all got an email at like 5 o'clock. Did you guys see this?
Oh, I didn't see it yet.
From Jessica Acosta. I don't know if she,
Oh,
5 PM?
yeah, I don't think you guys are on it. I think it's just to the board members.
No, I didn't receive anything from them.
Talking about the returning and like, are we making decisions, like if they have to wear a mask, who pays for it?
Is she an employee of the district?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I should.
okay, she's been on the CCB school Facebook page, and we've had some conversations.
Yes.
You saw some of that,
Yeah.
and she was asking a lot of those questions, and I had to have her go back and double check some of the stats that she's had. So we need to, she had some very good questions about, yes, what do we do about masks and who pays for that? And that's just something that's gonna be part of our budget, but I don't see a problem with everybody having their own individual things that they can bring in on their own. So if people can do that, I think we should encourage that with our families, that if you've got somebody in your family that sews or that knows where you can get hold of some stuff, bring your own masks, wear your own masks, type of thing. But that is gonna be a requirement of our school district,
Yes, it is.
and staff and students both,
Yes.
Very
right?
well forward, this too, because I
And,
think it was just a school board.
Yeah, Lorene has ordered masks
Right.
for everyone, the entire staff and student population. But also, Lorene and I have a meeting tomorrow to go over language. How are we? So we have consistent language across the district, consistent signage. All of those things will be done tomorrow, and then I'll roll out with the whole public announcement, so.
And then there was actually another one at 541 from Jennifer De Lorenzo, also just to the board, so I'll forward that to you.
Yeah. I understand people are concerned, but you have to realize we're not making decisions just on, we're making decisions based on the guidance that's coming down to us, so.
Well, how many people don't understand that? I guess there's a bunch out there, right?
Yeah, there are.
20%.
There's quite a
Because,
few.
this all could change in a heartbeat
Oh,
if the
yeah.
governor says, this is how it's gonna
Most
be.
likely it will change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in fact, I don't think any of us
No,
disagree with that.
And that's why
Again,
I've
we're
been
just
so
waiting.
reluctant to be like, yeah, this is what we're doing.
I know.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
okay, I just sent both of those to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other board thoughts? Okay, so you have your exit ticket, so you can't leave until you pull out your exit
Hi,
ticket.
sorry, Mary,
Yes,
this is Jennifer Bowman, I'm still online, sorry. I
okay.
just wanted to ask real quick, would you prefer that I wait to post anything on Facebook until Miriam has, her statement all together? Or can I kind of post the preliminary plan and more information is to come?
No, Jennifer, I would prefer you to wait until we have all of the information and the latest guidance before anyone posts anything anywhere. Wait for me to have something to roll out with, okay?
Do you think it's?
And that should be by the end of this week.
I was gonna say, just to get something like, that we're
Okay.
working or something like that?
Yes. It will be by the end of this week. Just understand it could change.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, absolutely. Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in.
Way to hang in there.
Yeah,
Just tell people not to panic about this.
okay. So your exit tickets you'll fill out and we'll see it on the 10th.
Okay. What is it you want me to do with these exit tickets? I'm sorry.
So the exit tickets, we fill them out
Yeah,
and it's just how we evaluate how the board meeting went.
okay.
So that again, we're on a culture of continuous improvement.
Well, I read them all, but I wasn't sure what to do with them after.
Oh, and again, I think it's just about you taking and looking at that. And I think we did, from the last board meeting, made some significant changes from those exit tickets. Because I think one of them was that the agenda needed to be more honed. And I believe that we only had 2 changes on this.
Yeah, I have a
So-
question for you guys. Would you like to know what tab each of these are under?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is so difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, that again, if it just showed that it collated.
We had that for a short.
Yeah, I
Correlated,
remember
yeah.
that, but it was super helpful,
Oh,
because then
God,
I
it
could
was.
just flip to the tab instead of
Right.
through the entire.
Oh, yeah, because I
Yeah.
It's always nice.
Yeah, it's,
There used to not be tabs though, it used to be just,
Yeah, you
No.
just flip through and hope you
Yeah.
found
you
it.
should not have, we have to have we have to have a motion of adjournment. You
I gotta.
guys can't leave.
I gotta tell you, for a meeting in July, this is one of the longest board meetings I've seen for the month of July. There have been some times where we have walked in and said, approve the bills, approve the agenda, we're out.
those were
I hear
the
you,
days.
but it wasn't a
Yeah.
COVID era.
Yeah, this is a whole different.
Okay, can I have a motion then for adjournment?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, a second.
Second,
Okay, roll call.
Eric, Keel,
Aye.
Dodrill,
aye.
Rice. Aye. Schwab. Aye.
We're out of here.
Can't be too grateful.
Have a nice evening. So you have been here now for 15 hours.
All right.
Oh, have you?
Yes, it's his first day in town. Yeah,
He doesn't have his tennis shoes on.
and he's moved to Victor, bought a place
You're a Victor too? Where are you
Yeah.
in Victor?
right across from Grandma's house.
In Debbie's old house right next to mine.
Oh, you're in the Debbie's house that they were talking about, that's with the back place that got painted and.
Break room right there.
Fine.
I
That
didn't
used
even
to
know
be,
it. I went on vacation and came back and the house is sold, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, I heard the
today
house sold,
was
but
there.
we were like,
It was-
who bought it?
Wasn't that Roy Pontius's?
I think it was
It
Roy's,
was
and
the,
that
Yeah.
was Debbie,
the
it was,
French Blanche house.
it was the
Yeah.
Jones's house after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, Roy's. Roy was good.
Well, Dan, welcome.
So I didn't get a chance to look at all these things that you want me to sign, Tammy.